Welcome to your multidimensional journey. I am Tracy Canberra, and today's podcast episode is Opening the Doors to Your Dreams, Timeline Jumping. Now, is it possible to jump timelines? Yes, we do it all the time because there are infinite possibilities, infinite timelines. We change timelines, we timeline jump every time we make a choice. So, if you're having lunch with a friend, and they text you and say, I'm going to be 15 minutes late, and you're already on the way to the restaurant. So you're now sitting in the restaurant by yourself, and the waitress comes over and has this wonderful conversation with you as you're waiting. That's a different timeline than the one you started out on this morning when you knew you were meeting your friend for lunch. So the small timeline jumps we make all the time, and they're not that noticeable. And to be honest, some of the big timeline jumps aren't that noticeable either because when you shift timelines, you don't see the old trajectory anymore. As humans, we have time and space, and so we only see the direction we're going in. We can't see what's behind us, what's on the other side of the world, past, future, whatever. So I always say, when a seventh dimensional Palladian gets to a stop sign, they can go left, straight, right, or turn around and go home. They go all four directions and they experience all four directions because they don't have time the way we do. And then their higher versions of self, their soul, other souls all experience the four directions as they do. When a human gets to the stop sign, they choose right. Say they're going to the grocery store, they choose right. Their brain says, okay, we're going right. So we turn right, and that's what we experience. But here's the kicker. We actually experience all four directions at once also. And our brain doesn't parse that information to us. It doesn't send it out. So we are only aware of turning right, but we went all four directions. And our higher versions of self that are experiencing with us and our soul and all other souls and source, they're all experiencing four directions. For us and our guides and our higher selves and our soul, I always picture that there's this big window and the curtains are closed. I can open the curtains 1 inch as a human, that's all I see. But the more I open the curtains, the higher dimensional it is. So the reason we talk to our guides and our other selves in higher dimensions is because they see the bigger picture. The curtains are open much more for them. For the soul, the curtains are open all the way. So that's why we ask for advice, because Spirit, you see the bigger picture. Show me where I'm headed. Is this in my highest good? Show me. That's why you ask questions, because it flings open those curtains. So back to the stop sign and going four directions at once. Yes, that really happens. So you can train your brain to see the other directions, which are the other possibilities, the other timelines. I have actually physically had experiences with this. My many years living in Sedona, I was trail running one day and I tripped on a rock, as I often did, and I split into three. The one on the right tripped and kept running. The one in the middle, which I was standing in the middle, didn't trip at all. And the one on the left tripped and fell. And I thought to myself, well, clearly I'm the one on the right because I tripped and kept running. And all of a sudden, woof, just like I broke into three, I absorbed back into one from the three. And the whole experience took like 1 second. I mean, I ran right through it. So then I stopped and I'm like, what the heck was that? And this was like 12 years ago when the energies were a lot more dense on the planet than they are now. And my guides told me, you had a moment of being so in your multidimensional mind rather than the human brain that you were able to see the other timelines that you are working on because there are infinite versions of each one of us. So you are shifting timelines. You are shifting yourself in those timelines. I mean, the sky's the limit. The cosmos is the limit. So you have to set aside all questioning and just believe. Just have faith and trust. When you ask your soul, Show me the bigger picture. What's going on down this timeline? And here's another great thing. We don't have to go down all the timelines. We can explore the timeline without anchoring our energy into it. Meaning that when there's a possibility, like say you got a date with someone new tonight, and you're like, okay, how's this going to go? Show me the possibilities in the date. When I see client timelines in personal sessions, I see the percentages that where we are right now, this now moment, this is the percentage that this will happen. This is the percentage that that will happen. So I see it in percentages and I tell them the direction you're headed in now, zero chance of that happening, or 70% of the chance of that happening, or whatever it ends up being. So I will explore some of those timelines. So back to the date. You have a date tonight. You explore the timeline. What does it look like? If you're going on a date, if you're going on a trip, if you're moving someplace, you get into a meditative state, you go inward, you move out of your brain and into your multidimensional mind. And after doing this for 20 years and thousands of client sessions, my brain knows when to step back, when to step out, and let my multidimensional mind in. I have it trained. For some people, it's easy. For other people, you got to do a meditation. You got to get in the zone, right? And open yourself. I always joke, you want to be psychic? Fold the laundry, wash the dishes. Keep your brain busy. When I was first learning this, I would trail run because my brain was focused on the ground in front of me so I didn't fall. And as my brain was focused on the ground in front of me, it allowed my multidimensional mind to take over my primary awareness. So you get into that meditative state and you explore the timeline. Say you're moving to a different state, or a different country. You get in this meditative state, you go inward, you're floating, you're flowing. You can ask your guides to help. You can ask your higher versions of self. And I will tell you, in my decades of experience, 95% of your spirit guides are other versions of your soul self, other lives you're having in higher dimensions. Because back to the big window and the curtains, everyone can see in, we can't see out. So it's you in a higher dimension. That's people that think they're star seeds. That's what they're talking about. They're relating more to their seventh dimensional Palladian self than to their human self. So getting back to exploring timelines so we can get to these doorways of your dreams, these portals of possibility and timeline jump. Once you're in that calm state and you're flowing and floating, you ask, show me that timeline. You put yourself in your imagination, because what we think is the imagination is oftentimes us going into a different dimension or a different timeline. So you start imagining, okay, I've moved to Spain. I am by the water now and it's beautiful and I can walk into the village and get tapas, and you go through it and you feel it. And what happens is you're literally bilocating to that timeline, to that other version of self as you're exploring. So as you continue to explore, note your feelings. Now, this is big things or little things. Maybe you want to start small, like, should I go into the city today and go visit a museum? Something a little more benign. You just explore that timeline and let your soul, let spirit, let your guides, let the universe, it's all source energy. So source is showing you the highest probability, the most likely timeline if you follow it. So you explore it, you see if it feels good, and if it doesn't, then you don't have to do it. I do that all the time. If I'm going to make a decision, I just explore the timeline before I jump on it. And that way you can go through the process without having to physically go through the process. Meaning that if you want to move out of the country and you do this process for your new life in Spain, like I was talking about, and you realize, wow, I'm actually going to miss my family more than I thought. I'm going to grieve the loss of my community. It's going to be more difficult than I thought to create new community here. And you'll see all these things. Well, now you're prepared. Now you can do things to strengthen the community before you leave. Maybe you can visit that little village in Spain a few times and make some friends first so you start building a community before you get there. There's a lot you can do. So I oftentimes will use this process of exploring other timelines before I jump to that timeline to see if it's what I really want, if I really want to jump there. But timeline jumping is opening the doors to your dreams because moving into the dreams, into the portals of possibility, all these timelines exist. There's not really doors or portals, it's just energy. Although I do see portals when I'm out in nature. We'll talk about that in a sec. But when you want to walk through the door of your dreams, the door is very symbolic. These portals of possibility, it's very symbolic to walk through a portal and know that you have crossed that line. You have moved into the new timeline. It's like making it official. So when you have dreams, when there are possibilities you want to step into, again, number one, faith and trust and belief. You have to believe in those possibilities. Our words are very important, especially now with time dissolving and the energy being so much higher than it ever was. Words are really important. Instead of saying, well, that could never happen. Well, they're looking for somebody with a master's degree for this job, and I only have a bachelor's, so they're never going to hire me. Okay, then you just jump timelines, and now you're on the timeline where they won't hire you. Henry Ford or somebody said, if you believe you can, you're right. And if you believe you can't, you're right. And that is so true. So belief and faith and trust. Believe in the possibilities. I believe it is possible. I invite it into my life. My soul will show me the way there, the way to get that. And remember, this is not just about things. It is about how you feel with those things. It's about your feeling, your state of being. Saying, I want a new love relationship. Okay, but right now, if you're super busy in your job and someone asks you on a date, you're only going to give them half your attention. So you don't want a love relationship. Or the adverse, I never want to get married again. No, you've had your freedom impinged in many lifetimes, including this one, and all those other lifetimes are filtering through and influencing you. So you're terrified of losing your freedom. That's why you don't want to get married. So then you work through that and you realize, I want to feel freedom. It's not, I don't want to get married. I don't want a relationship because this will happen. It is, Spirit, I am ready and open for a romantic relationship that preserves my freedom, that supports my confidence and my independence, that offers emotional support. List the feelings. How do you want to feel in this place with this person in that job? Not just the things of it, it's the feelings of it. That's what the universe is matching, is your feelings, not your things. When people have great success, it's matching their energy and their feelings. It's not matching their events. Back to the doors of your dreams, these portals of possibility. Often we humans need to visualize it to help it come true, to help it manifest. So when you picture your dream, the timeline you would like to jump into, that you would like to shift to, what is it? A job, a person, a place, a thing. What is this dream? And you can write it down or you can say it in your head. It doesn't matter. Written word is very powerful. So if you want to write it down, go for it. So you write it down and then you start noticing, how would I feel if I had that? What would my life look like if I had that? And when you're asking those questions, you're asking them to the universe. Your soul and your guides will answer you. They will let you know, well, this is what your life's going to be like if this happens to you, if you get this. So you will start to see, and you can start conjuring up those feelings. And you can bring in discernment also. It's not just, well, these are the feelings I'll have when I get this, but this is the discernment. Oh, I thought I wanted it like this, but I don't feel the end goal. I want the romantic relationship, but I want freedom. And I don't feel freedom with this person. Okay. And so you start honing it, you start fine tuning it, which is shifting through timelines. Think about all the hairs on your head. There's, I don't know how many, millions, thousands. So the hairs by your right ear aren't very close to the hairs by your left ear. but there's a lot of hair around the one you're thinking of by your right ear. So timelines are like that. There are some that are very close that you can shift through, and then there are some that are pretty far away. And that's a hard one. The bigger the jump, the harder it is to maintain it. Better to jump in increments so that you get used to where you are. Take rest breaks, anchor in, and then dream bigger. Anchor in, dream bigger. Anchor in, dream bigger. Once you have listed your dream, once you have listed how you will feel when you get that, and you are embodying those feelings and those energies, then picture a doorway opening in front of you. Now, your eyes are closed, and you picture a doorway, whether it is a cosmic portal or a big wooden door, it doesn't matter. Whatever door you want to imagine. Whenever I would go trail running and I'd see portals, they'd be like this iridescent rectangle that would pop up right in front of me. And I would literally run through it or hike through it before I could even stop myself. And then I would stop after I walked through and just notice how I'm feeling, what has changed. Okay, that person walking towards me looks the same. That tree looks the same, but I feel the difference. I feel I'm on a new timeline. I'm on a new trajectory. I am closer to my goals. So picture the door, picture yourself walking through it. And when you do walk through it, feel that success, that accomplishment, that knowing, right? The claircognizance, that knowing that you have stepped through the door of your dream and you are now on the timeline to achieve it or on a closer timeline to achieve it. And you can do that over and over and over again. And I will tell you the reverse works also. So if there are things you are ready to end, a relationship, a job, a place you're living, if there are things you are ready to end, you do the same thing. You picture it complete. You tell the universe, you tell spirit, your soul, your guides, your angels, I am complete with this. It is time to wrap it up and move on. And you move into the feelings of it being complete and out of your life. Even if it's a friendship or a relationship, how to detach, how to pull those cords. You picture it complete. You feel the completion. You feel the energy of being free from that, done with that. It is no longer in your field. Then you create the portal, you create the door, and you step through it. And when you step through it, you feel complete, clear, it washed off, it disconnected. You are complete. You feel that, and then you know 100% faith and trust and belief that it is now going to fall away because you've completed it. Now, sometimes that job or that person, that relationship can fall away in one day. Sometimes it'll be 1 month. If you are very strong in your faith and trust and belief, it'll fall away pretty quickly. So you can use it to step through into your dreams, and you can use it to step out. Spirit's going to step out of your nightmares. No, just to step out of things you are complete with. So that is how to timeline jump and how to open the doors of your dreams and step through them. So practice that. And if you're on YouTube, let me know in the comments how it worked for you. As always, I'm very grateful for you listening, and I appreciate you. Thank you for YouTube comments or likes, and please subscribe so I can keep making these podcasts and sharing multidimensionality with you.